In the holiday, when Cameron Diaz is drinking wine straight from the bottle in the grocery store because she's so frustrated, for being honest, I think a lot of agents have felt that way after this year in real estate.
So true. Also, that's my top favorite movie scene ever. But also when she's trying to fit into that tiny bathtub in the English cottage, that is what so many agents are doing with their marketing.
Right? They're trying to squeeze their personality, their life, and their expertise and everything they know they should be doing into a marketing plan that wasn't built for them in the first place.
Inside Modern Agent Social Club, we give you the space to actually build a brand and a marketing plan that fits you, one that feels fun, personal, and that positions you as the go-to agent in your community.
Now, we want you to make time for cozy nights at home watching movies like The Holiday, but Q4 is your runway for 2026, and our luxury marketing platform is the perfect place to start.
So get out of the tiny bathtub, pour the wine, and join us inside Modern Agent Social Club today so you can start 2026 with clarity and momentum. I don't really do anything. Like, we don't want to be Eeyores. No one wants to hang out with Eeyore. I love Eeyore, but you know what I mean. On the Instagram story text, or if you're creating a reel, there are so many ugly fonts, you guys. I don't know what is Instagram's problem.
Because you are your business and you are your brand and you are worth investing in.
I love that.
Yeah, I just took y'all to church. How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have one account or two?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are
Merry
two
Christmas,
agents turned
Kayla.
marketing experts
Merry
who believe
Christmas,
you can
Chelsea.
become the go-to
Welcome
real
back
estate
to
girl
our
in your market, all because you are
52nd
you.
Episode
I'm Chelsea Peterson,
Modern
founder
Agent
and
Marketing
CEO
Girls.
of Modern Agent
It hasn't
Social
been
Club.
quite a
And I'm
year,
Kayla
so we
Fox,
released
Modern
a few
Agents
episodes all
content
at once,
creator.
but it's basically
Let
a
us
year
be your
of
guide as we
podcasting,
talk
so
about what it means
congratulations.
to market
Oh,
your
that's
real
so
estate
exciting.
business the modern
It
way.
is.
Almost
So
one
refill
year.
your favorite beverage,
Yes,
open your
exactly.
notes app,
And
and
it's
get
the
ready
week of
to build a business
Christmas,
and a
and
brand
so
you're obsessed with.
I just
Let's
feel
go.
like, oh my gosh, my kids are home and we have all the things going on. What are you doing this week? What are your plans?
Oh my gosh. Well, we already have 2 Christmas parties checked off that happened the week prior to Christmas.
Yeah.
And this week we just have Christmas Eve with my family. And then Christmas Day, we're just staying home, just us. And
So nice.
I love that. Like,
Yeah.
we're usually like at one of the other's parents, but because of how it works out now with everyone's schedules, we kind of get Christmas Day to ourselves, which is fun. But then I'm like, well, what should we do?
Yep.
Where should we go? Last year, we actually made hot chocolate and went and drove around and looked at Christmas lights.
That's fun.
Like after we had dinner, we made like homemade Chinese food, and that was kind of fun. And then we're going to Iowa after Christmas.
Okay.
So to visit my family there. So we will have a pretty busy week, but I'm glad we get that one down day. What about you guys?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, we did Christmas with my husband's family. We always host that a couple days ago. And then, yeah, we're doing the same thing. We're doing Christmas Eve with my family. And then we're leaving for Florida. I don't know for sure what day yet because we're driving in my parents' RV and it kind of just depends on the weather. We're supposed to get some ice. So it's kind of ruining our plans a little bit. So we're either going to try to leave before or like wait a couple days later and leave after. So I'm fingers crossed for before. But yeah, no, just kind of low-key. Yeah, it's the same way. It's fun with like, the kids get all excited and all of that, but it also is a pretty laid-back break for us, which is nice.
That's so exciting to go like during the holidays to Florida.
Yeah. Just especially like we started doing that after football season and it was kind of like a reward for everyone like powering through and like lots of late nights and lots of dad being away and all of that. But now it's like you get our undivided attention and we're going to have this one thing to look forward to. So we always look forward to it.
That's such a fun tradition. Now, we are talking today about some of our favorite things, and that's probably one of yours. I love that. But if you've been on Instagram for even 30 seconds in the last month, you've seen probably 8 million posts of like my favorite things or what I would buy if I didn't already have it or I can't live without these items. So we're going to do our own little version of that. Of course, there's a marketing twist. So save for Chelsea's shopping addiction and also the marketing advice that goes with it.
Yes, exactly. So let's go through just to kind of keep it choppy in the beginning to give our listeners a lot of good takeaways right at the beginning. What is your favorite book of the year?
So I just finished the book. So I actually have a stack of books right here. I know anyone will be able to see these, but I'm hosting a favorite things party and I bought some of my favorite books of all time, and I'm going to wrap all of them, and then everyone gets to take one. And I'm doing this
That's
as
a
like a
great
little
idea.
extra thing because that's not what the favorite things party is. It's a different thing. But I'm like, I just love reading, and most of the people, like I've been in book clubs with them or at one point or another, and I'm like, I'm just going to do this as a little extra because I think everyone should read all of these books. So my most recent one that I read that was this year that I loved was called Broken Country, and it's by I actually bought two of them because I'm like, two people will get this one. Claire Leslie Hall.
Uh-huh.
And it's such like a heart-wrenching kind of a book. Like at first I was like, I can't wait to be done with this sad book. But it's like there are sad parts, but it's also just it was really well done and different. And I
Yeah.
always I read so much that I like when a book is different. So
Yes.
that one stood out to me this year. I also loved one was called Sandwich and one was called Wreck by oh shoot, I don't know her last name or her name now. But look up those books. She had like an Ellen Hildebrand style writing where it was very descriptive, lots of food references. They spent like summer on the Cape, all of that. So I loved that. I didn't like it as much as Ellen Hildebrand, but it was like a good addition. Oh, and then I have one more.
Yeah.
Ellen Hildebrand wrote a book with her daughter called The Academy. So she's retired from writing her Nantucket novels now. So I was very sad. But this book came out and it was really, really good. I loved it just as much. So I was excited to have read that too.
That's fun. Okay, I saw that she was retiring, but then I saw that she was doing a new book, and I'm like, oh, she must have changed her mind. But it was just for the Nantucket series.
She's retiring the Nantucket series. She feels like I've done it all. I don't want it to get redundant or boring or fluffy. So I mean, I'm sad, but it's fine. Now I can start my career as a writer, and I'll just take over.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're the next one. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't read near as much this year as I did last year. Last year I read like 12 books a month. I felt like
Oh
I've
my
read so
God.
much. I know. This year I did not read near as many, mostly because I discovered so many favorite authors last year, and then I just like binged all their books, and now I'm like, oh, they don't get another one out until like next spring. So like I'll just wait. But I like reading with my kids at night, and it's so funny. I did not start doing this. Like most people do like bedtime stories with their little ones. I never did that much because I had so many back to back and it was just chaos. And by the time we got to bedtime, I was like, I'm spent. I can't be touched anymore. I just need everyone to go to their rooms and whatever. But then I'm making up for it now. I was a bad mom then. I'm making up for it by reading to them now. And it's fun because I can read, like, Lottie loves books. Like, she'll read anything. My others are kind of like, well, okay, whatever. But I kind of pick books that I like that I think that they'll like. But anyway, right now we are reading Wonder, which they saw the movie like years ago. My older kids read it in school. Oh my gosh, that is the best book to read with your kid. It has sparked so many good discussions. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, both Luke and Lottie have gotten new students in their classroom, and they've like gone to bed at night being like, well, I'm going to make sure that I ask them to sit with me at lunch, or I'm going to ask them to like play with me at recess, because they hear what happens when a kid doesn't get treated that way. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It
that's
is
so
like,
cool.
oh, it has been the coolest thing. Every time I go downstairs, because my husband usually is just down here, he just says goodnight and then he's done. But I'm always like, gosh, I'm changing their lives, man. I'm
Oh.
really doing it. So
I
that one's
never
been a
read
really
the
good one.
book, but the movie was so, so good. That's such an important lesson. And like, not every kid's gonna be like that, but someone's gotta be like that. Someone has to be the one to
Yes.
be like, come sit at lunch with me. One of Henry's favorite books of the year is called Dinosaurs, Welcome to Dinosaur School or
Yeah.
something. And it's so cute. It almost has like in the movie The Grinch, like a Whoville vibe, but it's like
Yes.
not Christmassy. But this dinosaur goes to her first day of school and she's like like really nervous, and then this other dinosaur named Rory like invites her to sit with him at lunch and come play with him at recess and all these things. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, you just hope all you think about too is your own child, and that you hope if
Yes.
they are in when they are in that situation, someone asks them to sit with them or ask them to,
Yep.
so I love that so much.
Yeah. It's been so good. But otherwise, I'm still obsessed with 10x is easier than 2x. I read that at the beginning of the year, and I reread it several times since then. I also started reading this book, and I never finished it, but I went back and started again, and I'm like, this was really good. It's called To Hell with the Hustle, and it's a Christian book, but there's just a lot of like, slow down and pay attention to how you're living your life, and like, if you really want to hit these goals, you have to stop doing these things. So it's like kind of motivating too, even if you're not like a believer, but it's a really good book as well. So I'm excited to finish that,
I'm
hopefully
looking that up right now and
over
adding it to my
Christmas.
cart.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, I need to know favorite show. What's been your favorite
Favorite
show this
show.
year?
I feel like I'm gonna be really, what's the word? Like, I'm gonna pick everything that's the most recent in my
Yeah,
brain
yeah,
instead of overall. Okay, so this isn't probably my favorite show is Southern Charm. It just is. It's my
yeah,
feel good. I love it. I just started it this year. Like I watched the whole series of Southern Charm in 2025. So like that has to be my answer. But the other day I was watching some cheesy Christmas movie on Netflix and the movie ended and I was like looking at my phone and not paying attention and all of a sudden this other show starts and it like caught my attention. I'm like, what is this? And it's this show called Ripple on Netflix and it's about how everything you do ripples into someone else's life in some way. And like you don't know it really
yeah,
because it's like they're looking at all these different characters from like the outside in. So like you're seeing like, oh, that happened and now that's connecting to this person. And it's like there's been shows made like that before, but this one's really, really well done. I love the actors. It's very like heart-wrenching. Like Mark's watching it with me and we like got done watching it and we're like, this is so sad. Like it's like sad, but it's good. Like there's a lot of sad layers to it, but like you're so rooting for these people and like you just want everyone to be okay or
yeah,
like one of the guys is he lost his wife and it's just like you just like love him so much and you're like I just want him to be happy and like but like he's older but not old enough to have lost his wife either that you're old enough, right? But anyways, I love it. It's like it's very rare I feel like these days that I'm like, "Oh my god, that show was so well done," you know? There's
yeah.
so many like fluff shows that get thrown out there and whatever, but Southern Charm highly recommend starting from the beginning. Season 1 is rough because it feels so
They
old,
all are. They
but
all are.
it's so good.
That's funny. Okay, I'm writing that show down. I feel like my favorite show is actually a recent one too, but it was gonna top everything no matter what. But it is so far the Eras docuseries.
I
Did you
should have
watch it at all?
guessed.
Oh my
I didn't
gosh.
watch it yet, no.
It is so good. You know, speaking of marketing, you want to learn how to lead people and how to get people to buy in. Like, your lesson from Taylor Swift. Like, even within the first 2 minutes, she does like the very last huddle before the last show, and like she's not talking about like all of their accomplishments. Like, look what we did, or look how much we did, whatever. Or, like, you're gonna. It was all about how like you're gonna get, like she's looking at her team members saying like you are gonna get your grandkids sit on your lap someday and you're gonna get to tell them what you did. Like it was all I was just like it was like chills the whole time. And just the way that she treats every single person on her team, whether it's her dancer or whether it's the caterer or the truck driver or whatever, it is like she is completely aware that she could not be where she is if it wasn't for them. So like just such leadership. She also there's like some hard things in like the first episode especially, but just the way that she was like, this is really hard, but my people need a leader who like has it pulled together. So I'm gonna cry right now and then I'm gonna pull it all together and I'm gonna go put on a really great show. And then I can come back to it. But if I can't compartmentalize, then like I can't lead. And it was just like, man, like she is just like locked in. And then of course, like I like the fun stuff in it too. But I'm looking forward to continuing the series. There's a couple more weeks of it because I just feel like from that standpoint alone, I'm like, she gets so much hate. I don't care if you like her music or not, but like if you hate someone like that, like you're doing life wrong, you know? So
Yeah,
I thought it was so
100%.
good. Yeah.
I love that the compartmentalize, like I feel like it's way harder for women to do just
Mhm.
naturally, like our brains are wired differently, but it is so important in business because if you're always letting every little thing distract you or hold you back or stop you or you're going to press pause because you're nervous or whatever. I was at this event recently and this person said, I give myself 24 hours. If something like it was actually a real estate agent. If like a transaction falls apart or
Mhm.
something goes crazy or something negative, like you don't be the person that vents over and over and let it drag on for weeks. You have 24 hours to have your pity party and then it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And like not and maybe it's something more heavy that doesn't end in 24 hours, but you don't like stop talking about it then, like stop
Yeah.
talking about it within 24 hours. Like you can find other ways to work through it, but I like that like way of putting it. Like don't let because you can let I mean I remember real estate there were so many things, like so many things, so much emotion, so much weight they're hearing other people's emotions. And sometimes I think about it and I'm like, my God, like we've bought a couple houses now and like I've never let all the like the nitty little gritty silly stuff, I've never ever like wasted my time with it. Like the fighting
Yeah.
over a $500 repair or like I don't get it. I don't
Right.
get it. But like being that leader for your clients too is that it's the same thing. Like don't let yourself
Mhm.
get sucked into their emotion. You be the constant steady rock and they're going to feel so much better. The more that you get into like they said this and they did this and let it go. Like let's just let
Yeah.
it all go. It's such a waste of life. So anyways,
Yeah,
go
exactly.
Taylor.
Well,
Can't
and
wait to
when
listen
yeah, it's so good.
or
When
watch.
it comes to, like, even the market, like, instead of feeling doomsday or instead of being like, "Well, I don't know when the rates are gonna change," or, "Yeah, you're right, it is really expensive," whatever it is, like, they're looking to you to be that steady leader that is, like, unmoved by anything. Not because you have all the answers, but because you're prepared to lead them and to, like, they feel like you are going to see them to the other side. So, yeah, it's so good. I don't care if you're a Swiftie or not, you need to watch it, okay?
Can I lead that to one other favorite thing that's really not a thing,
Yeah.
but reading 10 pages of a business book every day.
Uh-huh.
Not only will it help you stay away from the doomsday mentality because you'll be fired up all the time. Just 10
Yes.
pages will fire you up on a daily basis. It will make it'll make trivial things not even really come into your brain anymore. And then
Mhm.
in addition to that, you'll have so much to talk about. Like, in fact, we just told our members the other day during a
Yeah.
training, I was like, steal our stories. Like, we
Yeah.
use metaphors and we'll talk about like this book or this example or like a Christmas cactus. I think we actually talked about that on this show, but I was
Yeah.
like, feel free to use our stories. Put it in
Mhm.
ChatGPT. Say, how could I relate this to talking to my sellers about listing their house? I mean, like a metaphor is so
Yeah.
powerful. Taking something you learned in a business book, like a statistic or a fact, like fact based evidence is so powerful. Even just referencing, like, okay, have you heard of this so and so? They say that blah, 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 blah. Like, it's going to help almost build evidence around whatever you're trying to tell your seller. So maybe they want to overprice their house and
Yeah.
you come up with the story that paints the picture of why that's a bad idea without just saying, well, then it's not going to sell. Or,
Right.
okay, we'll overprice it because I am too nervous to tell you otherwise. You need to be, again, like the steady rock. Reading a business book every 10 pages of a book every day is going to help you build so much confidence that you will be able to talk better. You'll be able to show up on social media more powerfully. You'll have something to say all the time. Like you'll never be a
Yeah.
boring person at a cocktail party ever again. You'll never be the one who's like, I don't really do anything. Like, we don't want to be
Right.
Eeyores. No one wants to hang out with Eeyore. I love Eeyore, but you know what I mean?
Take it back, Chelsea. Yeah, no, it makes you more magnetic and it makes people want to be you. And you think about like the whole rule of marketing is not necessarily to sell people on the features, but to sell them on the benefits. So you want to talk to their like heart more than you want to talk to their brain. And it's real hard to do because especially as agents when we're like, well, this one has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's this many square foot and this one whatever. Like that doesn't necessarily speak the language to the person who's looking for a home unless you also paint the picture of like, hey, can you just picture like your kids playing in this backyard? Or this island is perfect for like hosting all of your, for myself, like football staff over or wherever. Like when you start to paint that picture for them and give them that visual of like what their life could look like and like the experiences they're going to get to have because they're going to own that home, that's going to sell them so much more than just like, well, it's a really good deal, and I bet we could get you another 10,000 off if we negotiate. Like, there's a place for that, but it's not until they're bought in with their heart and with their like desires. Like, if you're speaking their language of like that's the kind of life I want to live, they're gonna listen to you so much more than just leading with like, here's the facts that any other agent could tell them.
If you want a really good lesson in this, go and test drive cars at 3 to 5 different dealerships. My friend was just telling me, she was looking at cars and she decided what she wanted and they bought one or whatever. But she said at the Cadillac dealership that the guy was just like, well, this one is the best this and it has the best this and this. She's like, all this stuff that I'm like, you are literally wasting my time because I don't care about any of those things. She
No.
never once asked me a question about myself. What
Yes.
are you what are you looking to use this vehicle for? Like, how often do you drive? Where do you go? She said he didn't ask her a single question. So another marketing lesson, listening is the most powerful thing you can do in marketing
Ask
is
questions.
listening.
Yes.
Ask a question and then don't talk anymore. Like, stop
Yes.
talking.
Really, the less you can talk in any kind of sales pitch or less listing presentation or whatever, the more likely you're going to get that deal. Because if you ask good questions and then if you ask good follow-up questions, Like, let them just talk about themselves the whole time, and they're gonna walk away being like, "She was so great," and they're not gonna know one thing about you, but they're gonna feel like, "Wow, she was awesome," because you let them talk, you know?
The one thing I brought to every listing appointment is I brought a notebook, like just a plain notebook and a pen. And
Mhm.
I like sat down and they're expecting me to pull out this presentation and like, let's look at PowerPoint. Like, no. There were other ways that we brought that part in. I brought that part in, but I just said, like, tell me your biggest goal right now. Like, and what is your biggest concern and what are you looking for? Or like, what is the most important thing to you in the agent that you hire? Like, I asked those
Yeah.
questions and I literally wrote them down and I listened and we talked about it. And then we got into like, whatever they said in those answers kind of led the discussion. So
Yep.
now instead of me just word vomiting all these stats about how much our brokerage sells and how much I, sell over asking and all these things, I was leading with the part they cared about. And I
Yes.
swear to God, I got every single one. Like in which you could also argue maybe you should have gone on more because then that's like a whole thing, like cast a wider net. But no, I was very like, I want to do business with people I like, people that respect me, and vice versa. And I just really like enjoyed the way I did my business
Yeah.
because it felt good. It didn't feel pushy. It didn't feel that's selling without selling. Exactly what
Yes.
I did. So it's just a different form.
I have a really similar story. I went to a listing presentation. It was my first, like, actual, like, interview instead of just having someone say, like, "Hey, will you list my house?" So I was a little nervous. I knew they were interviewing other people, but I did the same thing. I had, like, a notebook. I was asking all these questions, and one of the first questions they asked was, "Tell me about the free little library at your house." And she turned to her husband and said, "See, no one else has even asked about that, so I wanna go with her." And I was like, "Well, I have kind of an idea for how I could, like, market it." And she was like, "Yep." And it was, like, a done deal after that.
That's so
So,
cute. I
I
love a
totally
free little
agree.
library.
I know, me too.
It's the little things. It's noticing, it's listening, it's
Yeah.
the things that they don't expect. They expect you to come in with a PowerPoint presentation
Mhm.
or your stats or these lists of things you're gonna do. But, like, when you start on a conversational level, it, like, instantly shuts off like, the radar of, like,
Yes.
"I don't trust you." Like, it instantly
They put their
shuts that
guard
off.
down.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't expect to go there, but favorite
Yeah,
things continued.
I love it. Chelsea, what is your favorite content creation hack?
Oh, my favorite content creation hack is I love to email myself ideas.
Mhm.
And then what I will do is I will go through my email like once a week and I will write them down. And what will happen is like I'll just naturally probably cross off half of them, right? Because I'm like, they were just random. Like when I see it, I'll email it to myself, or I think of it, I'll email it to myself. And then I can pull from this never ending like bank, but it feels very current and I don't get bored with it fast. And then creating wise, we use like a carousel template that we repeat. And it looks a little different every time, but it looks on brand and cohesive. So it makes it very easy to pop in whatever content we're putting in there. And I'm never, ever, ever starting from a blank Canva
Yeah,
graphic ever. That also makes it easy because then I can go through that list and then plug in those titles. So sometimes I'll even just take my list and I'll make a whole row in Canva of the hooks of the posts I want to create. I won't even create them yet, but they're there. And that feels like better than it getting just like put in a folder or put on this Google sheet that I'll maybe never see again, you
right.
know? So I like to do that. And then my like third little tip is if you are filming any kind of content to have a prop because it makes you feel way more conversational and less awkward. Like so holding a beverage glass, yes, holding a beverage, a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, even like what you're like the color you're wearing, like having just something that makes you feel like good and put together is going to help
Yeah,
so much when you're creating.
yeah. I
What
love
is
that.
yours? I feel like you have a lot.
Well, it's kind of funny. I don't really create content for myself much. I'm always creating it for Modern Agent. But just the whole idea, I actually did this on our stories a few weeks ago of if you're dressed and ready, and if you're feeling like even slightly good about yourself, like take 10 minutes and record it, right? And I talked about how like literally like find a spot in your house that gets good natural light that's not too busy of a background, right? So I chose like I've got one kind of blank wall that's like half a staircase, half the wall. And then I set my phone on my tripod and I just started recording. And I recorded probably like 3 minutes worth of video, but I did a couple different things nonstop. And actually, I should record like bloopers because it's actually kind of funny. At one point, I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I didn't know. I was trying to think like, what else could I do? But like walking in the shot, kind of turning, smiling, walking out, and then like fixing my hair in the shot, but then also like putting on a necklace, but then also like picking up my cat, which I have a cat now. That's a whole thing. All these different things. And so, but then what's really cool is I can use those clips in 100 different ways, because I can take 10 seconds of that clip and I can put it somewhere and I can mix it with something else, or I can turn that and just to whatever. But then I also, while I did that too, I also took a few photos too. So I took some photos that were like farther away that were kind of like full body. I took some that were a little bit closer, but then I'm able to like pop those into content really easily. Now, this is not like high quality, right? Like this is literally just my iPhone. And I think sometimes we see our iPhone photos and we feel like, oh, it's just like not that good. But the truth is, like we talk about like dupe photos and stuff, really that quality isn't very good either. Those are just iPhone photos as well. I think we're our toughest critic because we don't really see like the beauty or the interest in the things we see every day. But if we can kind of start to develop that eye, and we'll definitely go into that more and more in 2026. But yeah, but I think like while you're feeling good, if you just take 10 minutes out of your day, even if you have extra time, like go change your outfit into something else that you like. Like while your hair and makeup's already done, like just get it all at once and then draw from it over and over and over again until you're so sick of it, and then do it again, you know?
With that being said, I also love to just record continuously. Like, don't worry about like stopping, starting, because you can use that really long clip and like instead of going to always hit record again, start it over, like you can chop that off so easily, or skip to the part you want and chop that into a reel. So that way you have like more to work with. So instead of having like, I have to like nail 10 clips, like just get it all in one swoop. And then you don't have so many different videos and you can kind of pull from that exact section, which makes, I think it makes it so much faster.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, you kind of mentioned holding a beverage, but favorite photo shoot prop. So if you're going to snap a few photos of yourself for content or whatever, what's like your go-to?
I love a glass of wine, like in a good, really nice looking glass. I think it just looks elevated and it's like nice, sophisticated. But I know like the whole anti-drinking culture is like a thing now, or like you don't drink or you're worried, whatever. It doesn't have to be alcohol, but it can be anything in a pretty glass. Like my other favorite glassware would be the Icon glasses from Anthropologie. Like also like the shade of your coffee. I know this sounds like insane, but like a frothy looking creamy coffee looks so much more desirable aesthetically than black coffee. So like even if you're not drinking it like that, add some milk or some cream. It just looks good. So if you care about aesthetics, like that's a really good way to bring that in.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like holding a drink makes me feel so much more like at ease. Like I'm already either holding my water bottle or I've got some of those Icon glasses too with little footballs on them. But yeah, just anything that you can hold. Like I've even joked, like again, with this cat. She's like most cats where she doesn't want any attention until she does. And then she'll sit at you and meow forever until you pick her up. But so then like even holding her as I'm like talking or something, it just makes it a little bit easier because it's like you're not wondering like or feeling awkward or whatever.
It creates visual interest too. So like I would like want to watch because I'm like, oh, what? That's a cute glass. Where's that from? Or that looks really like fancy or whatever. And the visual interest keeps your attention or hooks someone's attention. Like they're more likely to stop the scroll because it's not just a talking head or you standing there typing on a laptop, but there's like something else in that shot, like something else to look at, something else that's maybe a pop of color or it just had like it's on brand in some way.
Yeah. And lighting even if you're holding
lighting a candle is another one.
That's a really good one. If you're holding your laptop or your iPad or whatever, holding your bag, holding your purse, like even if you're in your house, like just those things that when they see you out and about in town or if they're meeting you at a house or whatever, like you're probably holding things like that anyway. Like it just makes you feel more at ease subconsciously, I feel like.
I have a member tip too. Our dashboard on our member site is like beautiful. So if you are trying content, you could have your nice little on-brand beverage and then open up our dashboard. You don't even have to show them, like, you don't have to show that it's Modern Agent Social Club. Just take a picture of your dashboard. But you could even add your own custom, like, to do and say, like, listing photos at Cherry Street and add it there. So, like, that could be, like, previewing your listing. And now you have this B-roll or a photo when you're doing, like, a carousel roundup or something that's, like, listing photos at Cherry Street. Like, comment Cherry and I'll send you the link as soon as it's live or whatever. Like, talk about strategic and aesthetically pleasing and easy, and it's all right there for you. You don't have to design anything yourself, and it looks like yours. No one has to even know it's Modern Agent.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, use what you already have. That's for sure. Okay. Let's go to favorite way to make your content look more elevated. So maybe you are in a membership or you are redoing trends or you're just creating your own content, but you're looking at it and you're like, I don't even know how this all goes together, or this feels random. It looks cool by itself, but it doesn't look good all together. Like, what am I doing wrong? How would you like advise someone to elevate their content?
Well, number one, I would pick a cohesive, like pick 1 to 2 fonts that you're going to use, like a header font that is like your hook. So if you're looking at like 2025 expectations versus reality, like it's all in one font. That's like the header font. It's easy to read. It looks good. Don't use ugly fonts. I mean, just like if you need advice on this, number one, just Google aesthetically pleasing, easy to read fonts or search it on Pinterest. Like, and don't use there's so many ugly fonts. There's so many beautiful ones. There's no reason to use an ugly one.
Yeah.
So do that. Second thing, and then your subheader would be like maybe your main font is in like that more like Playfair display, for example, like kind of editorial looking, whatever. Then make the subheader font not the same as that. Make it like Poppins or Canva Sans or DM Sans, like one of those. Like look them up on Canva, and it offsets each other and it looks good. Use it in every single post. Don't keep changing your font every single template. If you use a membership, just change it to your own font. Don't use whatever font is in the graphic of the day. Like make it your own. And then same with colors. Like have a consistent color, and not that you have to make like pink graphics, or like let's say you like are super neutral and you're like browns and tans and whites and blacks and you just want like that look. Like that looks so good, right? You're also going to have that reflect in what you're wearing. So if you're going out to take B-roll or you're getting shots of yourself, wear black, wear brown, wear white, wear tan. Have the stuff in your photos be that color. Have your water bottle be that color. Have your maybe to you that means like you're going to put white wine in your wine glass because that looks better with like the cohesiveness of that style. Those two things alone will instantly elevate what your content looks like. And when someone comes to your feed, where when they are like scrolling, they should be able to see a piece of your content and say, that's hers, that's Chelsea's, that's Kayla's, without having to even look at the handle. Like that's the goal. It creates that stickiness in someone's brain where they're like, that's hers. I remember that now. And that's such an easy, low barrier. You don't need a brand designer to tell you that. You don't need any help with that. Like you just need to do it and pick something and stick with it long enough. And if after a year you're like, I just don't love this, then change it. But like stick with it for a while. And while I'm at it, please do not use, this is my biggest pet peeve, on the Instagram story text, or if you're creating a reel, there are so many ugly fonts, you guys. I don't know what is Instagram's problem, but I'll tell you that are approved. You can use literature. I guess you can use elegant.
Everybody write these down.
As a subhead. Deco is okay, especially if you take off like the background. It makes too much of a border. And then classic. Those really are the only ones that I think are approved.
Yep.
Some others are approved in certain scenarios.
In small doses, like a splash or something.
I tell you to create a carousel dump, and I'm like, okay, take like 3 photos from your camera roll and have it be like 3 things I'm loving lately. And one could be your listing that you just put on the market. Maybe it's like you in the kitchen or you on the front porch, or like, do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
One could be the like Thrive Market, and you're opening your Thrive Market box. You're like, I always take these snacks with me on the road when I'm showing houses on long days, whatever. And then the third thing could be like a local spot you love. When you add text to each picture, if you do, or you add a hook on the front cover, and you would use Instagram text because it's right there for you to use. You don't even have to like go in Canva. Please don't use those ugly fonts. And please make it easy to read. Those are my tips.
There you go. Hot takes with Chelsea.
Yeah.
That'll be our new segment. We'll just talk about what ticks us off. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Hey, we have big goals for you to help you sell more houses, build a brand you love, and become the go-to agent in your community.
And we are working hard to make that happen, from preparing new podcast episodes every week to creating free resources to constantly improving the Modern Agent Social Club membership so marketing feels easier and more effective for you.
We also have big goals for this podcast to get these conversations into the ears of more agents who are desperate for that same transformation.
If this show has helped you this year, it would mean so much if you left a 5-star review to tell us something you like about the show. And when you do, you can email a screenshot of it to support@modernagentsocialclub.com for a free gift from us.
You know, another thing you could do, share our show with a real estate friend. You'll be their hero for sending them an hour of encouragement each week, and it takes less than a minute.
And meanwhile, we'll be over here brainstorming more ways we can support you and your business. Okay, back to the show.
That's so fun. Okay.
What are yours? Or no notes?
Well, yeah, I feel like you kind of covered it, but I will say this kind of leads into the other one. One of the other ones we talked about was like some kind of favorite confidence builder, because I do think that when we hear all the time, agents will tell us like, I know I need to put my face on camera, but I don't know what to say, or like, I don't like these pictures of myself, or I feel like I'm cringy or whatever. Like, how do you like get out of that, right? And I feel like that does kind of go away or go along with making your content feel elevated, because when you are in it and suddenly like you're the brand, all of a sudden you become like the face. So you have to be confident, right? One of the favorite quotes I've ever heard, and I heard it this year and I forget where I heard it, but someone said like, well, of course you're going to invest in yourself because you are your brand. So like you should be getting your hair done. You should be getting your nails done. You should be whatever. And like everyone's got their own, theory with all of that. But it just made me think like, oh yeah, like I'm not wasting money or splurging money on myself. I'm actually investing in my brand, because the truth is like when you feel better about yourself, you are more likely to show up, which guess what? That could make you more money, And so I have not formally done the whole like the color analysis thing, right? So we talked about this a lot. Kristen Scheckler, if you're listening, we talk about this a lot. She's another agent, but the whole idea is like everyone's got a sub-season of colors that just are naturally more flattering on you. Flatters like all the undertones of your skin, your eyes, your hair, all of these things, right? I kind of laugh a little bit. I have not formally gotten it done because, first of all, I was a hairstylist for many years, and that is all about color theory, color wheel, like understanding all of those things. So I feel like I got a pretty good understanding on how all of those things work just through my 12 years of doing that full time. But I probably have a lot to learn. So I acknowledge that. But going through and like learning, whether you invest in having someone like actually drape you and do your colors, or if you just like learn more about it and start to pay attention to like, you know what, like why do I always feel my best in that? Is it because of the cut? Is it because of the shape, the style? Is it because of the color? Like whatever it is, like pay attention to those things. And then what's really cool about it is in some ways it actually can save you a lot of money when you're shopping, because you're no longer just gravitating toward the things that you like, but you're gravitating toward the things that are going to make you feel your best. I know for myself, like I have declared myself a bright winter, where I look best in colors that are not muted, but that are like full of pigment, right? So like even like this bright pink that I'm wearing, or if I wear like a bright blue or whatever. Funny enough, like I love the color lavender, but I'm like, I do know I always feel a little bit washed out when I wear it. I still wear it because I like it. So it doesn't mean that you can't wear anything like that anymore. But it just made me more aware. So it was really funny. A couple weeks ago on Black Friday, I was looking through a couple websites and I thought, oh yeah, see that right there is like she's holding up a bright pillow.
This is too muted for me. And I know it is, but I wore it because of the Santa, but this looks so much better.
Yes, I think that you are the same. I think our undertones and all of that are the same. So when I went to go purchase things, there were a few things that I started to add to my cart. And then I thought, wait a minute, those are the wrong colors. And so I took them out. So I actually saved money. But now the things that I am building in my closet are like, oh, I know that if I put those on, like I'm going to pop. And it's been so funny, Chelsea, because I'm not like a super stylish person. So I'm not like bragging on myself. Like literally, this is just like a ribbed t-shirt, right? But I've had like people every week at church stop and tell me, not even that I look nice today, but that they like those colors on me. Like they've specifically said those words, and I've laughed and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like onto something here.
It's working.
Yes. So
are you a black or a brown? Is a bright winter a black or a brown?
Bright winter, all winters can wear black. And I'm like, I always thought I look good in black. I really think that I do. I don't look good in brown or tan, any of those colors, but grays I can do.
We went to a Santa brunch and I wore like a brownish, like a more chestnutty brown, like leather dress with a fur little coat over it. And my mom said, I think you're a brown. That looks really good on you.
Oh,
which
really?
would contradict my bright winter. Who knows? See, I want to get my colors done.
See, well, and it is really interesting, not to go on a tangent, but the way that the color wheel is and the way that they have like House of Color, the way that they have it all set up, people are probably listening and they're like, you're totally screwing this up. I apologize if I'm not doing this justice. But some people are like, they call it like a true winter. So you're like right smack dab in the middle. But other people are like a little more on the spring side or a little more on the summer side. So I think some people can pull kind of some of those colors. And again, the whole point is not to tell you, no, you're not allowed to wear that. That's not the point of it. But the point is just to make you more aware of what feels good on you. And you can even go as far as like doing an actual style analysis where they like explain like, wear like large patterns or small patterns or it's like, oh my gosh, like this is like mind-blowing information.
Okay, I'm gonna do it and I will report back because it's been on my list for this entire year. So that's my
You
gift to myself for Christmas.
really should. I
Yeah.
hope that you do. And I want to be there to document the whole thing because I think it's so interesting.
Okay, I'll give you the dates.
Yes. All that being said, whatever it is for you, whether it's getting your colors done, whether it's getting a spray tan, whether it's coloring your hair, like getting your eyebrows done, like anything that you're like, oh my gosh, I would just feel so much better about myself if I just did that. Just do it. It's not a waste of money. Maybe you can't write it off on your taxes at the end of the year, but it is an investment because you are your business and you are your brand and you are worth investing in.
I love that.
Yeah.
And
I just took y'all to church. Go ahead. What?
You are worth investing in. No, I love that because even if you pick a color that makes you feel good and you wear it to meet a new client, to meet the potential sellers that you're going to be working with, like you are going to perform better.
Yeah.
Perform throughout. You're going to show up better. Like you're instantly going to have more confidence.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to get my colors done. The end.
Yes, I love it so much. Okay, let's move on. Let's do, what is your favorite thing that you stopped doing this year? Was there anything that you're like, at the beginning of the year, you're like, I'm done with this, and you actually stuck with it?
I can't think of like one specific thing. I would say that my like biggest thing is like the all or nothing mentality in every capacity. Like I was always very all or nothing. Like, oh, well, if I'm going to like eat bad tomorrow, like, or for dinner or whatever, we're going to get pizza. I might as well do whatever for the whole day. Well, then you feel horrible, right? So I'm really leading with like how I feel in situations, but same with anything. Same with like whether it's shopping, investing in something, doing like our house. Like I want to do like just little things at a time versus thinking like, well, I have to redo the whole room or like just like little doses, little like 1%. I just read this quote today. 1% of effort is better than 0.
Mhm.
So like on anything, right? So 1% of effort is better than 0. So like whether you stop waiting to do something till you have it all figured out or you have it all together, just like little doses of things.
Yeah.
I think that is like life changing and I think that takes a lot of mindset work too. And a lot, like, again, going back to reading a business book every day, or it doesn't have to be business even. It could be, like I love Emily Judice's book, The Weekenders Club. Like that book, like I've read it 3 times now. It just like, it's really super short. And like, it's all about, people usually use their weekend to like relax and eat and drink and go out and like escape the weekdays, but then you start your week and it feels hard because you didn't do anything in the weekend to like give yourself energy or re-energize. You did everything to do the opposite. So it's kind of about that, but it's a really good book. So like even reading a business book, I never finish business books. Here's a admission, like the 10 pages a day doesn't mean I'm finishing the book, but I'm still giving my brain all that knowledge. So like, it's like stop the all or nothing mentality. Like, oh, I can't post on Instagram until I get brand photos. No, like take a photo of yourself right now. Or I can't do that until I get my colors done. No, just wear the colors that feel better right now. So I guess I don't know if that's all or nothing or what that really means, but I've really stopped living like that. And it's hard. Like it's really hard to do to not, if you are an all or nothing person, it's hard to shift out of that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like there hasn't been anything huge that I stopped doing this year. However, second half of this year, haven't given it up completely, but I have stopped drinking near as much pop as what I used to drink, or soda for my Southern listeners.
Isn't pop Southern? Coke is Southern.
Maybe it's Southern.
Pop
I think soda is Southern too.
In Indiana.
Yeah, pop is Midwest.
Soda. Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
Soda.
I thought you were pop. That's so funny.
I think the South is Coke, like Louisiana.
Yeah, but then who says soda?
We do. Wisconsin.
Oh, I think some Southerners do it too. Y'all report back. Let us know, okay? These are the important things we need to talk about.
What does California say? I think they say soda. So Wisconsin west must be soda.
That's funny. That could be.
And then east is pop, and then south of Illinois is Coke.
Yes.
I don't know. I lived in Missouri too. It was also soda, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Maybe half pop.
That is what our whole podcast is about today. So I think we should really dive deep. No. Anyway, my thing was always I am a grown-up and I like just having a little treat. And that was just it. And so it wasn't even so much about drinking the Dr. Pepper or whatever. As a whole, it was kind of, it's kind of, they always say like smokers, the reason that it's so hard to stop is because it's just a habit. They like to step outside. They like to take a little break and they like to do something with their hands. And when you take that away from them, they don't know what else to do. And so one girl, I did her hair for years, but when she stopped smoking, she was like, while I was doing her hair, she was eating Dum Dum suckers. Then she's like, I know it's so bad, but she's like, I don't know what. And I'm like, you're fine. Like, that's better for you than the cigarettes. So it's fine. But all that being said, I feel like last year especially, I really tried to dive into like cooking better for my family and all of that. And I mostly succeeded. So this year I was like just trying to think of like healthier alternatives. We're not like a super clean eating family, but just thinking like being just more aware of what you're putting in your body, which like led me to like a great big giant love of like good culture cottage cheese. And I just iced coffee, like drinking that a little bit more at home, and then just drinking a ton more water than what I ever have before. So I still have like my little beverages all around the house that I still enjoy, just like I did before, but it's much better for me. So I'm glad that I stopped doing that. And I did think, oh, it's got to be all or nothing. But like when I go to like Chick-fil-A, I want a Dr. Pepper. Now I used to get a large, and now this time I'm just getting a small, and I'm really only drinking about half of it. But it's like, it's not about not doing any of it. It's not about not having anything. It's just about being more aware of what you're putting in your body and trying to make the healthier choice most of the time. But after a while, you don't even like crave it anymore. Like, I don't even think I could finish a whole one anymore. So it's just funny how that works. But
it's just really being more intentional in general. Like, that's all it comes down to is like you can choose to do something or not do it, but then be intentional about it and like follow through with it. And even marketing, like, we started the Modern Agent Confidential email, and then like I got busy and I was doing camp and I missed a couple weeks, and I'm like, well, I've sent so many emails already anyways. I'll just take a break.
Yeah.
But like then I'm like, no, I could also be like a really short email. Like it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be 8 categories worth of stuff or 13 post ideas or anything crazy. Like it can just be a simple email with like a simple takeaway. Sometimes those are the best ones, right?
Yeah.
So like even from a marketing standpoint, all or nothing, like maybe you can't post every day of the week. We don't, but you could post twice a week, and maybe you don't get your face on camera every day in your stories, but maybe you do it once a week, or maybe you don't have a brand photo shoot every year, but you have one every other year. I mean, like there's always a level of something you can do and be intentional with it, whether it's any of the categories we just talked about, health, eating, food, marketing, like everything.
Well, and it's about letting yourself be human too. Like you're allowed to not be perfect and you're allowed to not be a robot. In fact, that's what people want more than anything, which is probably one of my favorite like marketing predictions, which we're going to get into in a couple weeks here. But just like people don't want polished. We've kind of joked like, oh yeah, if it sounds like AI, people don't want it, which is totally still true. But it's funny. You know what? I was so disappointed the other day. There was an account that I followed forever that is like amazing. And she was doing this like, oh, comment this word and I'll send you this guide that whatever. And I was like, okay, like that sounds great. I got it. It is literally nothing but copy and paste ChatGPT. Like literally they put ChatGPT stuff on a Google Doc and then that was their freebie. And I was like so offended that she wasted my time. Like, because honestly, you know what I really want to do, and I haven't done it yet, but what I really want to do is I want to get on ChatGPT and I want to say, okay, I love this creator. I want to know what advice she would give me if I wanted to know these things and like list out what the things are. I almost guarantee you that it will nearly spit back the exact same thing that it gave her. And that's just offensive to me.
One thing we stopped doing, no, start using AI more intentionally. That's the other thing. There's so much it can do for you, but that doesn't mean like we don't want to live in a like why would I want to consume ChatGPT information on Instagram? There's already so much on there
Yes.
that's like good content. The last thing I want to do is read something that ChatGPT wrote or regurgitated or that's like
Yes.
why getting your personality, getting your face, get like being human on your account. And I always say hosting your account. Like if someone came over, you wouldn't have like an AI generated voiceover of you talking. You would like sit there and have a cup of coffee with them and talk to them.
Yeah.
And not you wouldn't be gone. Like
Right.
that's what it's like when you rely on just that to do things for you. But
Exactly. Yeah. It should save you a lot of time. And I think there
mhm.
are ways that you can use it that like will benefit like your clients and whatnot for sure. But you shouldn't hide behind it and pretend that you came up with something. Like that
Yeah.
just feels really icky to me and it's a giant turnoff. And that is something that we will never do.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. Speaking of which, though, what is your favorite tool? Is it ChatGPT this year?
It probably is, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like, and I also just invested in a new program that we are taking to learn a lot of things it can do to just save time in our business. So
Mm-hmm.
more on like the admin side, analyzing data, compiling that data to tell us what we should do next. Like it is like crazy powerful what it can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to dive into that. That's like the thing I invested in this year that I'm besides our website, but that was actually last year that we started that. So
Yeah.
that is something I'm excited to leverage in 2026 that's going to be done in a very intentional way, obviously. Like, how can we save hours of like human power that
Yeah.
doesn't require a human to be doing it, right? Like, it's just some like mindless tasks. That type of stuff can be taken off your plate. Or like one really cool thing I did with it is when we did Camp Modern Agent, I don't know exactly how this would translate for real estate agents, but there's got to be ways you could do this. I saved our Zoom chat every day of Camp Modern Agent, and then I put it in ChatGPT at the end, and I said, "Can you analyze like what were the most frequently asked questions? What were the testimonials because people were like raving about it in camp."
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that's coming back end of January. Like all these things, and it like compiled all the information that was literally from our people attending camp.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing made up from ChatGPT, but it compiled this information that if I sifted through on my own would have taken me hours and
Yeah.
hours. And it literally categorized it for me. And it was like incredible. And then I was like, well, here's the top questions people want to know. Here's the top, like, you could even be like, okay, what content ideas could I create out of those
Yes.
questions? Like, so there's a lot that you can do with it that makes it really, really worth your time. So that's got to be my favorite tool.
Yeah. Agents, I think if I were doing real estate full time, I would be really pushing towards having Zoom calls with like either first time home buyers or sellers or whatever. And I would maybe even personally tell them, like, hey, like, we're going to have a chance to meet in person, but I really want to start on Zoom because I want to ask you this series of questions and then take that transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and then just say, like, I mean, have a list of questions you're going to ask it. Like, analyze this conversation and tell me what are like their biggest concerns, what are 3 things I could do that would like surprise and delight them throughout this transaction.
Mhm.
What are on like a scale of like 1 to 10, how prepared do you think they are, or like map out their timeline. Like I feel like there's so much that you could do with that information, and that can just be from like a 30-minute Zoom call. And going back to what we said earlier, the best way that you can get the best results from that and really maximize your time is if you spend most of that Zoom call asking them questions. You don't need to talk or
Mhm.
explain the whole process, but like ask them all the questions and like follow-up questions and get on that. And like when you ask them questions, people always like to get off on a tangent and be like, well, I really need more room for my dogs and I've actually got 4 dogs and whatever. That's not so you want to kind of reel them back and be like, well, I think that there are lots of houses, in different neighborhoods around here that have great fenced-in backyards that I think your dogs would love. So, what's another feature that might be important to you? You know what I mean? Like you can kind of bring it back like that, but I think you could totally do a lot with that. And as you continue to have more of those conversations, like let's say in 2026, you're like, you know what? I want to try to get, even if you're like, I'm going to get 5 mini consults on Zoom every month. Like that's my goal. By month 3, put all of those transcripts into ChatGPT and then say what you just said. Like, what are content ideas I can put out on my Instagram based off of these conversations that would like make people clearly see that I'm the agent for them. Like, there's your strategy,
Brilliant.
right? And it lets you know what direction to go, where to lean on, where to spend your time, like what's going to move the needle,
You could even do like, okay, what based on this conversation, what like how can I paint the picture of the lifestyle my ideal client is looking to live? And
Mhm.
like the lifestyle angle of the content is what is going to connect to people and make them think like, "Oh my God, that's me. Like that's
Yeah.
me right now. I can see myself in that," or whatever. And that's what makes your content powerful and memorable. I was also going to say that with using this, I think this is kind of funny, but you could just say like, "Hey, my AI assistant, name her if you want, is going to join us." And
Yeah.
like on the Zoom call so that they can collect all the information that we need and I can focus on listening to your
Right.
answers. Like, how amazing.
Right. I'm not just writing down all this information the whole time and half
I'm
listening
focused
and
on listening, yeah.
yeah. And, you don't want someone I never like the idea of AI or, like, some kind of bot pretending to be you. Like, I want it to clearly be, like, I'm a bot and I'm asking these questions for
Yes,
her or
yeah.
whatever. But I also think a lot of people would be pretty impressed. Like, "Whoa, she does that? Like, okay, that's good to know." Like, wonder like, they're gonna look at you like, you know what you're doing in this current day and age. Like, you know how to, like, maximize everything. We need to do a whole episode on ChatGPT, but I love that tool as well. That's probably been my favorite too.
2026. We'll do that
Yes,
episode.
exactly. What has been your favorite splurge this year?
I've lived in Wisconsin for a lot of years, since 4th grade, and I finally got a Canada Goose jacket, and I've wanted one for my
Oh,
whole life. And we went to the Packer game
yes.
recently, and it was gonna be really cold, and I was like, It's time. I'm not going to another Packer game in the winter without the warmest jacket you can get." So I got one, and I'm obsessed, and I love it, and it's well worth it to not be cold living
I
in the
love
state of
that.
Wisconsin. We were actually in Canada in 2020, and I bought 2 North Face jackets while I was there, and it was this whole thing because like, the exchange rate or the taxes, I forget what it is, like, I kept saying, like, "Everything's 20% off here."
Right.
So I'm like, "I'm gonna buy 2 new jackets," and I was like, "Wow, I could have bought a Canada Goose jacket almost for the price of those 2, but I needed a ski jacket, and then I wanted, like, a regular jacket." Anyways, so, like, ever since then, I'm like, "Gosh, well, now I just bought these 2 jackets. I don't need a Canada Goose jacket."
Right.
So anyways, I finally bought one, and I'm obsessed, and I wish I did it 10 years
I love
20
that.
years ago. Yeah.
That's the way it always is. When you finally make that investment, you're like, "What was I thinking waiting this long?"
My life could have been so much easier and warmer if I did this a long
Yes.
time ago. Yeah.
I love that. That is how I felt. I recently invested in a Cozy Earth duvet insert. We've always just had, like, whatever random blanket. We had a comforter for a while, but, like, I mean, when you have kids and stuff, right? Like, they like to jump in, or the dog will jump on the bed and like, his paws will be dirty or whatever. So, you never wanted to do much, but I'm like, "You know what? Like, I'm an adult. I'm a grown up, and part of the like, I have to pay taxes, and I have to, like, be responsible for human beings and all these things, but there are perks in which you can buy yourself something just because you like it."
And we worked
Um,
hard this year.
we
That
have
was my
worked
other justification for the coat.
Yes, totally worked hard, and it is an investment. Like, we'll probably have this on our bed for the next, like, 20 years. Like, it'll be,
What color
like
did you get?
it's just white, it's just an insert, and then I just bought, like, whatever duvet cover thing off of, like, Amazon, I think. At some point, I wanna get, like, their sheets and all of that stuff, but honestly, like, our sheets are pretty they're just Amazon sheets too, but they're actually pretty comfortable, but it's made our whole room, like, just feel so good, and I was worried that it was gonna make my husband too hot, but he has not complained about it at all. Like, he
Wait, you
slept
got
great
the
too.
duvet or the
Like,
outside or the
the
inside?
insert,
The
yeah.
inside, okay.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, so that was really fun,
That's so
but
exciting. There's
yes.
nothing like a quality night's sleep either.
No, yes, and I feel like the older I've gotten, the more precious I've gotten when it comes to sleeping. I need, like, my humidifier and, like, all these things set up now. I'm, like, becoming this version of myself I didn't know I needed to be, but I sleep better when I have those
Identity.
things. Yes, exactly. Okay, we are kind of running out of time. Is there any, like, honorable mention that you're like, "No, I can't close out this episode without saying this one thing?"
Um, well, my favorite thing is my family, and because of this way of marketing, I get to spend a lot of time with my family. So I guess ultimately, like, that's what it comes down to, is you can spend less time away from your family when you have a marketing plan that works
Yeah,
from the comfort of your home. And that's
100%.
why we are here in general, basically.
Yeah.
For anyone else, whether, you wanna spend more time with your dog, on your couch, with your husband, whatever it is,
Mhm.
like, that's the point of this way of marketing. You get to be home. You get to be it's time freedom, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even though you might not feel like putting your face on camera or sending that email or figuring out Flowdesk or how do I do this? Like the time invested into those things will pay you like 100-fold down the line. Like it's probably the biggest skill set you could master to live your life the exact way you want to.
I completely agree. I feel like last year, especially, we've talked about this before in previous episodes, like we really sat down and we were like, okay, what's the most important to us? Not only that will help our members get where they need to go and not like only to help them reach their goals, but how can we also do that in a way that lets us live the lives that we want to live? And I'm the same way as you. Like, I need to be home with my family. I need that flexibility and all of that. But I also want to like provide for them and I want to be able to go do fun things and all of that. And so I feel like we really nailed that this year. Like everything feels very much in alignment. And I feel like because we've done things that way, we've kind of set that precedent for our members and our listeners. And then I feel like we've watched a lot of agents say that same thing. Like, oh my gosh, this is working. Like I'm able to, you can do both. It's not, one or the other, but you can actually have both. So it's been fun to live out.
It has been. Yeah. So it's our ultimate favorite thing. And that's why we're here in the first place, why you're listening to this.
Exactly. I love it. Well, Chelsea, I hope that you guys have an awesome Christmas. I hope everyone listening enjoys the holidays with their families and you get some time to relax and like reflect on the year like we just did, but also to maybe treat yourself to a little something because if you're still here in 2025 in the real estate industry, you are ahead of what, 90? Not 90%, I'm sure.
A lot of percent.
A large percentage of agents who have quit the industry.
You made it. Yeah. Yes. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. And we're so excited we have so many fun things coming in 2026. So
yes,
we will be back. Well, we're not taking a break from the podcast. You can listen to us in that weird in between eating lots of cheese and whatever week between Christmas and New Year's. We'll be here.
Yes.
And then we'll be ready to go for the New Year too. So we're so excited.
Wait.
Yeah.
Very
Merry
cool.
Christmas, everyone.
Have a great Christmas. Bye.
Bye.
I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.